And now that they're finally able to come back with it fresh off the top, this is really the kind of things to look out for.
Especially Scylla, they've been working towards this all year, not just the last 2 weeks of their boot camp in LA.
All right, not a surprise there with that ban. Kokolin, he has been a top pick, top ban for quite a while.
Ro mentioned it earlier, actually, where you can kind of expect some very standard North American meta bans here. Oceania, I think, does tend to adapt a little bit more to the North American playstyle than what I would favor for European.
Exactly, and LG know that Scylla have been here for the last 2 weeks. They've adapted to the NA meta completely, and I think KO did play it as well at Oceanic Regionals.
And Uller is just one of those guys you never really want to, I mean, you could prioritize him early on and look to potentially favor your own side, but I think for a team like Scylla, it's a very smart ban away because you don't want to worry about Barracuda trying to run rampant in the duo lane, especially when you already can expect Mingyu to try and play so aggressive against him.
It's a little bit surprising to me because Scylla actually really favored picking Ul for Mingyu and soloing the enemy ADC, so they clearly don't want Barracuda on it rather than put Mingyu on it.
A Raven band.
It's, I think, directed at Envisionize. He's very comfortable on it, but at the same time, I guess it's a target ban. I don't completely agree with it. I don't think it's as strong as maybe LG do.
That's interesting. I wonder if they heard something that we didn't.
Maybe.
Some concerns potentially for that jungle pressure. Mask might not want to have to worry about the warrior, and on top of that, banning away Raven does mean that they could have this possible first pick selection of the Amuzen Cobb.
And of course, you do not want Baskin to have that Morgan.
Exactly, yeah. That was a very simple target ban.
There's just like no chances in the world. But it's not just Baskin either. There are so many players here that are very competent with Morgan, and she is definitely one of those gods that can just turn the game in a moment off of one great ultimate.
Especially on a player like Baskin, who's played several different roles. He knows how to play every god in the game.
Of course, and that helps out when you get switched into her ultimate, you have to learn that god.
Exactly. AMC comes out first for Barracuda almost definitely, although it could be in the mid lane as well.
And that's one of the nice perks about this AMC selection is having that mild flexibility. I do believe, though, that this could kind of throw Scylla for a bit of a loop since they now have to make the decision between do we want to try and prioritize a high-pressure mid laner that could potentially deal a little bit better with this Amuzen Cobb clear, should it go in that direction, or we could look for a hunter that's going to be more favorable for Mingyu in that dual lane matchup should that occur.
If you were to have someone do a boxing match with Barracuda on AMC, which god would you want to pick?
I mean, I'm happy to take the Osiris to it, to be honest with you, yeah.
Wow, you think Mingyu's going to play Osiris?
No, but for the late game at least.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mingyu, I think it's going to be a struggle, really, to box in AMC, so what I said before might not end up happening. He might just take the back foot and just safely farm and leave it to the late game so the Osiris can deal with it.
Very smart selections as well by Scylla because Osiris and Raijin are two gods that are incredibly dominant as far as the laning phase is concerned, and for a team like Scylla coming in a little bit less experienced than Luminosity for competitive at an international level, it's going to be wise for them to have the pressure where it matters.
Yeah.
We got a Fafnir pick. Do you think that's going to be going to Jeff Hendler?
Yes, for sure. I mean, that's his type of god, and this is Torres guy's type of god. In what we're seeing Geb coming up to protect all of his teammates, especially Raijin in the early and the mid game.
Geb is incredibly strong right now since that shield cleanse really gets you out of almost any sticky situation, but one thing you will have to always be concerned about is not falling behind yourself in the early game. Geb is probably more punishable between levels 1 through 5. As soon as he gets that Cataclysm online, then he has a little bit more self-defense, but he's also a perfect selection to try and combat that Serket. Serket hates trying to deal with the Geb.
And with Geb, you also have a lot of protections. You're able to be a bit more aggressive, which Tori is definitely known for being a bit of an aggressive
definitely.
initiator.
He'll pick up Blink on this, and he can easily just shield away any of the Serket aggression on Raijin.
All right, they're taking away Herc.
That's an Aquarius option right there.
100% a target ban, yeah.
And it's very easy for Aquarius as well because we've seen picks such as Chalk from Aquarius. I would probably anticipate him, since he's most likely going to be going against that Osiris in the solo lane, to maybe look for a god that can just stand still in the lane. So again, you're probably looking at Chalk or something of the like.
Yeah, there's a lot of just ability-based warriors that can just kind of ignore Osiris instead of trying to box him with that death toll.
What do you guys think the last two bans are going to be?
Well, clearly they're thinking about it a lot, but the Odin ban especially, I don't know why they're as scared of it as they are. I guess they just don't want to get the AMC bullied too much in that cage.
I would like to see a Hachiman ban potentially from Luminosity. It's probably one of the better boxing matchups for going against that Amuzen Cobb. So if you want to try and hinder you a little bit, maybe look to take that away.
Right.
They could also want to pick it. You know, they might go the double hunter. They have the Fafnir to buff that attack speed. So we'll see. If they do go double hunter, if they went Hachiman, where do you think's going mid? Is it AMC or is it Hachiman mid?
I would have to say a Hachiman in the mid lane, just because I've seen Baskin play that more often than what I've seen him lean towards the Amuzen Cobb. But Luminosity is not going to take that chance, and instead they're going to eliminate it. And I would probably have to say that they're not really looking for the double hunter aspect either, considering that they picked a physical jungler.
That's true, yeah. I'm just thinking because of the attack speed from Fafnir.
So then are we going to be seeing 2 supports over on LG's side?
I don't think so. In solo, when you know that you're going against a god like Osiris, Osiris is kind of just automatic. You win your lane pressure, you can at least secure your first couple of buffs. And especially with it being a Serket. Serket, though, she does have one of the best buff secures in the game for level 1. Her Deathbane actually does a surprising amount of damage when you land all 3 ticks on the same target.
All right, we got Hu Yi coming out on Scylla for Mingyu. Definitely one of his favorite gods, so I'm wondering if they wanted to give him that.
It may be. I mean, I played with him for the first half of this year. He's practiced a ton. So he is going to jump on Barracuda, but that is such a risky move to jump on an AMC at this point, at least.
It's just the concern around if the Hu Yi messes up his combination from... I'd say the first 7 levels are probably going to be the time period where a Hu Yi has the damage to punish this Amuzen Cobb, but on the flip side, you mess up that stun combination from your Mark of the Crow and your Ricochet, Amuzen Cobb's throwing that stinger into you, and you're dead in seconds.
Cabrakan going to
Solo.
Aquarius.
Wow, and Cernunos.
And Cernunos.
So we got the 2 ADCs. Now, do you think it's going to be AMC mid or in the long lane?
I would like to see AMC mid, I think, just because I like Sononos versus Hui.
I would probably have to agree with that as well. I think for these 2 players, it's still kind of hard to call between Baskin and Barracuda. A little bit surprised, though, but Cabrakan as that flexible god pick for Aquarius, I mean, that's just one of those circumstances where you could possibly even be looking at Osiris jungle, actually.
Yeah. And I would guess this Bologna is going to Envisionize as well. He's played that throughout the year, and KO definitely prefers to play the Osiris. Either way, they're both having Death Toll. They're going to be sitting there smacking minions.
Definitely going to be a tanky team over on the Scylla side. Now, before I toss it over to the casters, who do you give this to, guys?
I got a
1-0 matchup?
I have to favor Luminosity.
Looking at the drafts alone, I love my Scylla guys, but honestly, LG with a double hunter against these heavy frontline warriors, I think they're just going to rip them apart once they get kin size.
All right, Taco and Ro give it 1-0 to Luminosity Gaming. Let's see what our casters think.
Thank you very much, Desk. Here we are, game number 1 of HRX, and of course, it's got to be the hometown heroes against possibly the darkest horse in this world's race, Scylla Esports, all the way from Australia and New Zealand. I'm Husey, joining me is Agro. Agro, the analyst thought LG 1-0, and I think that's what most of our audience thinks as well.
I mean, look, Luminosity is looking so good coming into this World Championship. Yep. They didn't win that first seed in North America. That went to E-United. But Luminosity still got a lot of momentum off of their performance at Super Regionals. And I like this draft that they went with, too, because it kind of feels reminiscent of some of their drafts at Super Regionals. The RDO being banned away was smart by Scylla, but LG still finds a Guardian in the solo lane to play. It's Cabrakan for Aquarius, and that opens the door for Baskin to play that Cernunos in mid. He played it against E-United. He played it very well. And this composition, I mean, if look no farther than the fact that Elevate's here and doing well, that this composition works.
All right, so we're seeing both Scylla and Luminosity around this Fire Giant pit, trying to get some early vision up onto the solo side. On the analyst desk, they said this is probably the most important area of the map for this game, and I definitely agree with that. Without a doubt. Solo lane is dictating so much of what's happening on the map right now, and anytime speed buff is on the right side of the map, that's where the jungler is going to want to be, but it's those fire elementals for the first 10 minutes that spawn in the Fire Giant pit that really dictate how important that side of the map is. Love what KO and Envisionizer are going for here, trying to pressure out Aquarius. In fact, maybe even trying to clear that wave a little bit early. Not a full proxy, but that makes that wave a little bit easier to clear whenever it rakes the corner around the tower. And we saw Mask coming through there, and I think it really shows the discipline and the growth of this Oceanic team, that they're not looking to take out the jungle, they're not looking to fight, they're just trying to get their wave, being more disciplined than they have been in previous years. But Cabrakan's level 1 clear so good with that Tremor, even with the double cleave auto attacks between Bologna and Osiris, LG cleared just as quickly as Scylla do. And now we're looking at this mid lane. Baskin and Barracuda both together, both clearing these mid camps, and now going for the red camp. two hunters going to get a lot of clear very quickly, particularly Kernanos and AMC.
Mask going to take a little bit of poke, but not too much, and Vision Eyes can't quite confirm all that damage, and I like what Luminosity does. They just go to those fire elementals and get the little ones. Not the big guy that's going to give you the most XP and gold out of there, but enough to try and hit the level 2 early, which they already have.
And now Vision Eyes in a lot of trouble here, trying to get the hammer off, but not enough to clear a minion wave. He just needs to really back off right now.
And Vision Eyes on this Bologna jungle is going to want to push his pressure early on, but that's not too easy to do up against Serket Kabrakan, who both have excellent early clear and excellent kill potential early on. Love that they decide to go for Vision Eyes early, try and put him a little bit lower in that health pool and take away some of that aggression that he wants to go for.
I mean, or they're trying to make him still be aggressive even behind him. Vision Eyes, a lot of trouble still in the Kabrakan Tremors. He's so low here, forced actually to pop his beads, and that's a big win for Luminosity here early, and they head straight to the fire elementals.
They can go for fire elementals, they could go for buffs as well, both speed and blue up, but with the mid lane pressure going the way of Scylla Esports, Luminosity wisely decide to head towards the neutral objective. Don't want to try and take that 4v2, even with Vision Eyes being weak with no purification beads.
The thing there as well was Shred and Tori Skies got some pressure in mid, able to push the wave back a little bit, and so they were able to then head to that speed buff to stop Luminosity going for it. Looking now towards the long lane, we see Mingyu's really been left here on an island, but of course, here together, it's Jeff and Barra.
And they talked about it on the analyst desk. Mingyu, the real standout performer for this Scylla squad, so excited to see what he can do up against Barra.
Mask hiding around the corner, taunting and Vision Eyes dashing forward, but Scylla able to escape there. Very nicely done there by the Oceanic squad.
Going back to this duo lane, Barra versus Mingyu. I mean, Mingyu has the most experience out of anyone on the Scylla Esports roster. Coming to America in the spring with that LG Direwolves roster. And talking to Barra before the set, he knew that Mingyu is going to be aggressive. He's an aggressive hunter, and I love to see that kind of confidence, even playing on a sort of stage that you might not be as comfortable with. First time seeing Mingyu here on the world stage, and I expect him to still stay aggressive.
Do you think LG is comfortable letting Mingyu just sit alone in this duo lane and farm out? Do you think, even though he is kind of seen as the carry of Scylla, that they're going to be comfortable letting him get some golden experience?
Barracuda's played against a couple carries in his day, usually. You know, I mean, Barra can hold his own, whether it's a little bit behind because Jeff Hinla's here getting a small lead over Tori Skies with this guaranteed farm in the long side of the lane. It doesn't really matter. Barra's going to be able to play the lane as he wants to play it. With Jeff Hinla being here, tells me that he doesn't want to play it particularly aggressively. He can just wait it out, get closer to those Devourer's gauntlets. Once AMC starts stacking up, it's really difficult to contest him in lane.
It's interesting that the kind of similarities between these two teams, you know, Barracuda and Mingyu both seen as kind of the big names in the team, the carries. But then over in the solo side of things, we've got kind of two of the quieter guys on the teams, KO and Aquarius. Right now we see Mask coming over. He's level 5. They're looking for Envision Eyes once again. Taunted in. Where's the ultimate? There it is. He's onto KO instead. But Envision Eyes trapped in there by the walls. He's popped a sprint. Mask actually stunned out there by the tethers. But here's Baskin. There's the ultimate. And that's going to be first blood for Luminosity.
Not as clean as LG would have liked. Mask actually gets the wrong target with the last breath. Great job by KO to step up and take that for Envision Eyes. I'm going to give him the credit, like he intended to do it. Either way, Baskin with a well-timed rotation over to the solo lane, and no surprise that Baskin looks comfortable on this Kernanos. So he's really made this hunter look phenomenal in the mid lane.
The big thing for me right now is that Baskin is at least a full level above Shred. Shred struggles when he gets behind. We've seen this in OCE, and now up against a premier mid laner like Baskin.
And look at why that happened. Shred goes for that Book of Thoth rush. He has to back because he doesn't have any extra sustain. His potions were nearly out of mana potions, only 1 health pot remaining. And he had to back to finish off a stacking item. So Baskin, who already had boots too, not only is he quicker because he has the boots, but Shred has to back because of the start that he selected. Great recognition by LG's mid laner to understand that he has a window of opportunity where he can try and make a play where Shred cannot.
We've talked a little bit about how Kabrakan's got a lot of good early clear. How does he face up kind of in a one-on-one situation against Osiris? If, you know, take the junglers out of it, how do you see that matchup going?
Honestly, right now, Hughes, I don't think I can take the junglers out of it. Junglers spent so much time on the solo side of the map early on that the old days of the 1v1 warriors in the solo lane, or in this case, a guardian versus a warrior, just really aren't that realistic. Now, if that does happen, Aquarius is going to have to manage his cooldowns correctly. KO can really poke him down pretty well with that first and second ability that does excellent poke. But outside of that, Aquarius is going to try try and play the lane a little passive until Mask comes back.
Mask comes back, just like you said. He can't take the junglers out of it. He's looking to redeem himself here. Good tethers here. He gets KO again, but KO's taking a lot of damage. Now it's Envisionized, and KO looking to maybe turn this one around as Mask gets low, but LG walk away from that one as Jeff and Barra get the Oracle Harpies.
Love that play from Mask. I don't think he's using that last breath for damage. He uses it for CC immunity, predicting Envisionizes Eagle's rally right on top of him. Heads up play by LG's jungler.
Taurus, guys, poking his head in towards the fire pit, trying to get the timers on those elementals, which thus far Scylla has been denied, just like the Oracle Harpies.
Check out this build for Barracuda, not going for a warrior or ninja tabi as almost every hunter does. Said it's the Talaria boots, trying to get a little bit of extra farm. Don't really think that's the reason, though. I mean, when you're up against one other person in lane most of the time, like you are right now in the long side of the map, you're only getting that every 90 seconds. It's more about that additional movement speed out of combat. What's AMC's Achilles heel that everyone talks about? No escape. It's tough to get away from him. He already has so much movement speed with those hives that with the Talaria on top of that, if Barra's rotating, he's going to be way ahead of Mingyu. So not really looking for the gold income, but more the extra stats that Talaria can provide.
You were just talking as well that he didn't select Warrior or Ninja Tabi. We just saw the items from Envisionize there, the jungler for Scylla Esports. He went for a Ninja Tabi rather than a Warrior Tabi. What's the benefit of doing that on a Bellona?
You get more heals from that third ability. Your Scourge, every time you hit your third part of that attack chain, you're getting a little bit of a burst heal. It's going to speed that up. You're going to be able to absorb more damage in that first stance with the sword and the shield, and you can clear the minions in the jungle or the lane a little bit faster with those cleave auto attacks. Bludgeon won't hit quite as hard, but the attack speed on Bellona is certainly something that can work out very well.
All right, about a 2K gold lead right now for Luminosity, and definitely experience being felt across the board. Almost everyone is a level behind their respective opponent, and now we're seeing Luminosity go aggressively here into Scylla's jungle. They're going to go ahead and not steal away the red buff. Scylla actually able to secure that one.
Nice job by Scylla, and I like the idea from Luminosity, though. Shred had jumped underneath his tier 1 tower in mid, so he's not going to want to be able to participate in that fight. He knows he's too vulnerable, and Mask, knowing the timers on the right-hand side, he doesn't really lose a lot. Now, Scylla does have an opportunity to pull these fire elementals first, and with the rotation coming over, look at where Baskin is, cutting off the rest of Scylla.
But look where Aquarius is sneaking around the back here. KO, there's the Lord of the Afterlife. Aquarius predicting it here. He's going to look to wall him off. The sprint comes out, but it's too little too late for KO, and now shreds the target. He jumps away over the wall. Here comes Master trying to chase down the mid lane from Scylla. Envisionize protecting him. Speed buff is the new target.
Again, it's just Baskin's rotations to that top right side have changed this game for Luminosity. It's first blood on that right-hand side for Baskin, and there, it's KO thinking he's got a lot of help, but no one's able to come in because Baskin has too much farm and is just cutting off the help for Scylla's solo laner. Baskin and Mask have worked together so well so far this game.
Mingyu and Barracuda here. Mingyu not letting Barracuda get away here. Here comes the Suns. Aegis comes out from Barra. Jeff's rotating over as fast as he can. Mingyu going for it. He's trying to get the 1v1, but Barracuda says, not today, son. Know your place. I'm still #1.
Welcome to HRX, Mingyu. Against a lot of hunters, you can jump in after you bait Aegis. Barra knew all along. I honestly think Barra puts himself in a position to get double bounced and get low there. He knows that he's not going to die from that burst and that he's going to bait Mingyu in. That's just a guy who's played on this stage a couple too many times for Mingyu to be ready for.
I mean, he's played on this stage every single time. Every Worlds, both Jeff and Barra have been there. KO takes some damage from Mask. And that experience, I think, definitely helps Luminosity. By comparison, we were talking about before, Mingyu's the only member of the Scylla squad that has played internationally, and even then, that was SMITE Masters. That wasn't Worlds. This is a different beast altogether.
Completely, and you can see, like we said, Mingyu, he's going to play aggressive, and at some point, you got to respect it. You got to, say at least he's willing to play like himself and not playing scared on this world stage, but you also got to play smart and make sure you're not giving someone like Barracuda an early lead. And we touched on Barracuda's Talaria boots, but see, Mask has him in the jungle as well. Again, I don't really think it's about the gold income as much as that ability to rotate around the map. Mask is going to get red, speed, wherever, in part because of those boots.
KO taking some damage here. There's the ultimate. Aquarius is here as well. KO, Lord of the Afterlife away, but Aquarius walls him under the tower and slams him into the ground. Mask, I don't think he's left this right side of the map.
He went to red once and has come back ever since, and you can see why. This is how NA likes to play. If you're getting ready to play against North America, you better be ready to have your solo laner play against the enemy.
Tori's in a lot of trouble here. Jeff Hindler going into the Dragon formation. He's looking now for Shred as soon as he comes out of the ultimate, because here comes Barra, but Shred jumps away very quickly.
Mask's lack of mana, really the deterring factor for Luminosity there.
Envisionize going in here onto Aquarius. Taurus guys is here as well. Aquarius trying to get away, knocked up, and Envisionize trying to deal what damage he can. There's some beads, there's the slam, but Aquarius stuns him out.
Aquarius changed his horrific emblem for beats and walks away just fine. And he got the wave, by the way. That's an easy win for Luminosity on the right side of the map, and Envisionize just a little bit too far behind right now to try and take even that's really a 1.5 versus 1. I mean, Taurus Skies isn't going to be able to do a lot of damage in that situation, especially with Cataclysm on cooldown.
Talk to me about this Bologna jungle. What are you trying to do on it, and where has Envisionize been falling down with it so far?
You really want to just get in the face of these two hunters. I really think that's why Scylla goes for it in this particular matchup, because you have the disarm with the Scourge, you've got the block stacks with that shield bash, so you have some options to try and put these hunters down, but you have to be able to get to the point where you're at least even with the mid lane hunter. You're never going to stay even with the dual lane.
Oh, Shred in a lot of trouble, jumps away, nice really well timed, and a good stone shield there from Tori. A lack of mana on Mask before, now a lack of mana on Tori Skies and Shred is going to mean that Luminosity should take this one pretty uncontested. KO trying to steal it at the last second.
And he does.
He does. Really well done.
Yeah, Mask was trying to play the waiting game, but KO a little bit too patient for him. Love that jump direction from Shred. Most players jump towards their back harpies there, but that's not where the help was waiting. It's towards those towers. It's towards your support. Heads up play, and it ends up saving his life. Shred was absolute toast if he jumps where Luminosity thought he was going to.
Mask doesn't get the speed buff there, but he does get the blue buff, and now he's just going to keep Envisionize away from the speed. Gold Fury, though, is going to go down really quickly here. Luminosity pick it up. Barra, low health, low mana here, but Mask is going to pick up Envisionize on the back. Shred now looking for Baskin, and he falls down. Good Cataclysm for Taurus guys. Mingyu goes in. He's looking for Barra. He wants revenge for the 1v1, but he's not going to find him. He turns to Jeff Hindler instead, and I feel like that was a miscommunication there, Aggro.
Little bit of hubris from Luminosity. Against most teams, I think LG get that Gold Fury. They might not even pull that Gold Fury all the way because of how close it was. They end up securing it, and then they try and turn where Baskin's kind of low. Barracuda had very low mana. Not the best fight selection, but it doesn't really matter. LG gets the Gold Fury, and Mask is able to pick up a kill on that right-hand side as well. So LG come out overall across the map, 1 for 1 with a gold. They'll take it.
KO really feeling the pressure here under his tower. Aquarius 3 levels above him, pushing these minion waves in against an underleveled Osiris. This is rough going right now for KO, and Aquarius is just going to dive him under tower here, taking a lot of damage. There's the tethers that's not going to go off quick enough to save his life. Aquarius, solo kill.
This early Stone of Gaia, just don't know if that's the right pickup for KO in this situation. No magical protection in that item, and now it's cheap and it's HP, and it's really good right now. I get it, and I do think that you want to put that somewhere in your build.
Envisionize.
But some magical protection really is what KO needs.
Envisionize, there's the beads. He's taking a lot of damage. Mask's going to jump on him with the ultimate there. The tick damage should do it. He's going back in with the Eagles rally, trying to catch someone out of place and get some tower shots on him, but it's not going to happen.
Envisionize, again, just 0-3, level 10, and he's working towards what's going to be a Mystical Mail, but you want Mystical Mail from ahead or at worst at even, not when you're 3 levels down and at the bottom of the net worth charts, down nearly 2,000 gold, just by himself to Mask.
Mingyu and Barracuda going at it once again. Barracuda definitely kind of winning this domination war between these two.
And that's really to be expected, and you could take the player names out of it, and you'd still really expect AMC to have hold of this lane unless Huyi can get an early solo kill like Mingyu tried for.
There's the ultimate coming out of Mingyu. There's the Aegis as well. He's jumping in on Barracuda. They might catch him out here because Shred's here as well. And Mingyu gets the kill onto Barracuda.
Again, just a little bit too much confidence from Luminosity instead of just backing up, knowing that your team is getting Portal Demon on the right side of the map. That's usually not when you want to be invading by yourself as a B on the left side of the map.
Mask here in the middle of everyone, and Scylla going to jump away here. Shred going to tap him there with the mark, but that's not going to do anything to Mask.
Love this early Winged Blade from Mask. He's so far ahead that he can just really rely on this Jotun's Wrath and the base damage from his abilities to carry him through this part of the game, giving him some HP, some survivability, plenty of slows from Scylla. So I love this pickup from Mask.
See there, Aquarius zoning away KO away from this speed buff after he successfully stole it away from Mask for last time. Good recognition there from LG. This might cost them a tier 1 tower on the left-hand side. Not the biggest deal in the world, but it's some gold in the hand of Scylla. But I think, Scylla, they're making the call. They seem a bit split on this. Again, some of that lack of confidence showing from the OCE squad. Here comes Jeff and Barra.
A little bit of hesitation, and it could be Tori Skies the call to try and get him in trouble, but Jeff not able to stop them with Barra so far behind. Barra still trying to go for it, but I think they decide to finally give it up until Mask makes his rotation over.
Shred and Envisionize here. They're going to walk into the jungle right into Mask. Mask just waiting, gets the taunt, looking for the ultimate. He's looking for Shred. Shred taking so much damage Baskin's the one that picks it up. There's the Frenzy as well. They're looking for Envisionize under the tower. They should be able to find him when Baskin and Mars get here, but they decide to back away and head towards the left-hand side tier 1.
Man, good Cirquette play. It's like poetry in motion, just waiting right around that corner. Hits both with the Cobra's Kiss. Love that play from Mask, and Shred uses the beads, needed beads and Aegis, and honestly, I don't know if he would have survived even with both.
Look at Jeff just walking between the towers here. They're looking for Tori Skies, and Envisionize goes in. Jeff Finlay in the Dragon form is looking for Tori. They're looking for Envisionize. They get the tier 1 tower, but Luminosity back off.
This is a composition that it's basically the same exact one that Luminosity ran up against United. It's the same sort of build that Baskin went for as well. Boots into Crusher into Aussie, just really looking to maximize that pen early on, then use that shift of seasons to bring down the enemy physical protection even more, so the Barracuda could hit it. But look at what Barra did. Instead of the usual Executioner right after Devourer's Gauntlets, he too went for an Aussie. I imagine that's just preemptive in order to try and get ahead of the Hide of the Nemean Lions and the Thorns that you expect to see out of the Warriors. But Envisionize has already backed and gotten a second relic, and surprisingly enough, it isn't Thorns. It's a horrific emblem, which does do very well against these Hunters. When it's upgraded, it's slowing their attack speed. It's bringing their damage down by a percentage already before the attack speed slow. But I really think Thorns might have been what he needs.
Tori in a lot of trouble here, shoved back towards the Luminosity team. He's surrounded by everyone. He's caught there by Jeff Hindler's hammer, and Mars is going to be the one that claims that kill finally. Envisionize trying to save his support, but too far away.
Man, and Scylla as a whole is just really up against the wall here. Luminosity, you get a lead with this composition.
Oh, Shred.
And you're in a good spot.
Shred got taunted out of his jump there, but with the help of Envisionize is able to stay alive here against Mask.
Mask's ult being down, the real difference maker there, because Shred, no purification beat still from the last time Mask went on him.
Here comes Envisionize, level 12. Eagles rally on the spot, catches out the 2 Hunters, but LG say, we're fine with that. Shred through the wall with the Taiko drums, just trying to do some damage here. Mingyu looking to go in here against Barracuda. Frenzy comes down. Aegis is forced here. Mingyu forced to use both his relics. He's going to get changed into a little piggy, and Barracuda will claim his life. There goes Shred as well. Double kill for the Hunter from North America. KO now trying to keep Luminosity off this Gold Fury, but he might pay for it with his life. Luminosity going to take the Gold Fury anyway.
I like Scylla's mentality to stay aggressive, even against a powerhouse like Luminosity, but you got to play aggressive with a composition early like this, not when you're already down 8-9K. After that Gold Fury and the double kill, that puts them to the 10.5 behind in gold. Just a huge margin to try and make up.
Aquarius there takes away the speed buff from KO and the rest of Scylla. Blue buff is spawning, but at this point, aggro, you got to think Scylla is looking past this game.
I mean, at this point, you gotta try and still stay in it. I mean, it's only a best of 1. There's nothing to look forward to until your knockout stages tomorrow, and you don't necessarily want to get there yet. You still have to try and find opportunities. They know that Barracuda's relics are down. That could be a target for them.
Mask and Aquarius here trying to fight 2v3. They're winning so far. Baskin's here as well. There's a Thorn coming out from KO, but Envisionize is going to be the one that goes down. Mask gets a double kill. Torres guys can only stand and watch as his teammates disappear before his eyes. Here's the Fire Giant. Barracuda and Baskin going to shred this one. And it looks like Shred trying to get in. Not going to do it. Aquarius trying to keep him away as well. Fire Giant under 25%.
Shred has that ultimate available, trying to get in a position to use it, use the purification beam. Taiko drums coming through, but LG's gonna get the kill and the Fire Giant.
And they're gonna get Tori Skies as well. Baskin gets a double. It's only little Mingyu left alive. He's trying to fight here 1v5. I think this is gonna be it. This is gonna be a deicide for Luminosity. Mingyu jumping away, doing his best to draw out those timers. There's the ultimate over the wall from Baskin. Mingyu running away into the tower. Baskin gets the kill, and Envisionize spawns just in time to make it not a deicide.
Portal Demon, and now the call for Luminosity. This is just dominance, and this is my favorite thing about this for LG is that they didn't show anything that no one, everyone knows coming into this tournament that they're playing against, that this is a composition they like to run. Kernanos in mid for Baskin, Fafnir for Jeff Inla, and any Hunter on the planet for Barracuda in the duo lane. No surprise that Mask plays Cirquette. No surprise that Aquarius has Cabrakan in the God Pool. They can just come out with the exact same picks that they use at Super Regionals and just take it to Scylla. That's the ideal scenario for a team like LG, like Obey later today, Elevate, Energy, all those teams. They want to win with things that aren't going to surprise anybody. You don't want to show your hand a little bit too early in a long tournament format like this.
KO getting stunned out here, getting stunned again. He's jumped on by Mask with the ultimate. KO trying to mitigate some damage, but he falls down. Barracuda going to put another notch on his belt with that kill. Tier 2 tower on the right-hand side is the call for Luminosity. There's a lot of towers left up for Scylla, about half of them left now. And LG just going straight for Phoenix, not looking at any other towers.
They could go for this mid lane tower if they wanted, but after, if Tori Skies falls here, and looks like he may, though a nice Cataclysm is able to force Luminosity off of him, that's still a big cooldown lost for Scylla Esports.
And Visualize says the ultimate frenzy comes in. Baskin dashing forward aggressively under Phoenix and gets the kill. Mingyu trying to start up Baskin. He's looking for the kill. There's the Aegis. Will it get in time? Barracuda gets Mingyu, but Mingyu gets Baskin. And now it's Tori Skies and Shred against the world. Marth jumping forward aggressively. He finds Shred. Tori Skies falls down, and there's the Dia side for Luminosity. They're going to take this right-hand side Phoenix. They might even take the game.
I don't think they can quite yet, just because of how tanky that Titan is. 2 towers up on left, tower in mid. That's just a little bit too much health and protection for that enemy Titan. Instead, grab that right side Phoenix, head over to the mid lane, take this one as well. That was a great ricochet by Mingyu.
Yep.
He got stunned out, used the beads in order to get Baskin stunned underneath that tower, knowing that he's tanking up those shots. Nice individual play by Mingyu, but you're still down 20K.
If Baskin doesn't die there, do Luminosity then end?
Yeah, I think they could probably end with 2 hunters, only KO left alive. That's probably an end scenario. So in some ways, Mingyu probably saves the game.
Exactly.
For Scylla,
That's why I was trying. That's what I was getting to. There we go. Mingyu just saved the game.
It's the moral victory, right?
Exactly right. That's
the moral victory.
That's what I live with now. Red buff going to fall the way of Luminosity. Gold Fury not spawning for about another minute, so nothing really for Luminosity to take other than more structures on the map here. And that's where they're going to look to next. Once they get these last 2 towers down, or they might not even go for them, but I was thinking that if they take the last 2 towers down, they've got so much gold in hand, they can really just go in and end the game.
Yeah, I mean, they're already nearly at that point. Barracuda decides not to go for a Titan's Bane, which you're used to, as Shred gets hit by that last breath. Tori Skies, the receiver of the Stinger. He's looking for the Cataclysm, but Luminosity still on the run a little bit.
Baskin taking a lot of damage as Visualize jumped in. There's the Sons Aquarius. Gets Tori, but Baskin might fall. Mars is getting Shred. Barracuda gets KO. They're all leaning for Baskin here. Mingyu gets another kill. There's the Ricochet, but he's going to fall down here. He Aegis to try and get away. Barrow gets him. Jeff Hindler gets Mingyu. That's another deer-sided. Now Luminosity going to walk up the mid lane and end this game.
Again, Barracuda doesn't have Titan's Bane though, so it might take a little bit longer for this Phoenix to go down and the Titan by extension, but I imagine they have enough time here. I mean, 15 seconds, and it's only Tori Skies alive at that point. They might not even go for this mid Phoenix, instead just wrap around that right side and go for the Titan.
No, it looks like they are going for it here as Barracuda starts auto-attacking his Phoenix. We see Mars going the right-hand side, and now they're making the call to just end the game. Frenzy comes out here, and the Titan is being shredded. 5 minutes here helping them as well. Tori doing what he can. Good knock up here, but it's not going to be enough. Luminosity taking down the Titan, looking to get maybe one more kill, but no.